Welcome back to Mountain Connection. It is an honor to have one of Park City Fine Arts artists here. Colt Idol is here in studio. You can see by the beautiful paintings behind me. He is an incredible artist. Happy to have him here today. Colt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm very impressed. If I look at your art, I imagine someone a little bit older because your work is so well done and so well established. When did you start painting?
I started painting when I was 19. After a detour from collegiate athletics. So it's been about 10 years now. It's been a career.
For 10 years. Did you love to paint, to do art when you were younger? What really got you into it?
I did. It's been a long period of time drawing, growing up. My dad was a professional artist, and so I'd always kind of been in the background, but it wasn't until about that point that I started taking it seriously.
And why the Western theme?
I'd say just where we grew up in Western Montana, a lot of time spent in the C.M. Russell auction and camping and outdoors, just in the museums with the Native American background, yeah.
So most of your art is Western themed, such as we have some incredible Native American art right now. I've also seen pictures of horses.
Yeah.
Other things like that.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of wildlife. These two are just Native American pieces, these teepees, but I do a lot of cowboy and Native American and wildlife and landscape.
And what medium are you using?
This is all oil on linen.
Oil on linen. Wow. Why did you choose oil?
Oil is, most artists would agree that oil is the richest medium, especially in terms of color.
And your artwork is very colorful. It's like, reminds me of Magic Hour. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I feel like it really brings out the style, the Western theme, just really spectacular. I
try to exaggerate the color, but still have it be in that realm of believability. Used a high value contrast, so I have a lot of dark darks and light lights to really pull off that sense of light.
And tell me a little bit about your process when you approach a painting. Before you even start, how do you decide what you're going to paint?
Well, inspiration, especially living in Montana and spending a lot of time in the West, is not too hard to find. The color and nature and the scenery. I spend a lot of time photographing in Glacier National Park and east of the Rockies up there in Montana. And so see a lot of wildlife, see a lot of mountains, and just kind of put it together.
So do you paint from a picture?
In some cases, like this piece, for example, this would not be necessarily a real place or a real sunset. In wildlife or figurative, then yes, definitely using photography reference. But in a place like this is more about the feeling and more about the light and the color than it is a real place.
And you really do have a feeling when you see it. It really evokes that.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
It really does. I'm impressed. So what artists have inspired you?
I'd say Charles Russell, for example. He's one of the big ones. He's long since deceased, but he was the first pioneer of the West, the first to capture the West when it was wild as an artist, late 1800s. James Reynolds is an artist that passed away in 2001, I believe. Big inspiration with his use of color. I actually took a workshop under one of his pupils, so I've sort of learned his color palette and I've made some changes to it over time.
And you have received some incredible awards. You are one of the top 21 artists under 31.
Yes, so there's one of the three major art publications, Southwest Art. They do a contest every year where they pick 21 artists nationally under the age of 31. So I was selected for that award just recently, which was a big honor.
Well, congratulations. I can
Thank
see
you.
why.
I appreciate that very much.
And where is your art available?
It is available here locally at Park City Fine Art. And then there are a handful of other galleries, of course, where we're at in Whitefish, Montana, and then in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Tucson, Arizona, Red Lodge, Montana, Coeur d'Alene, and Jackson, Wyoming.
But it's exciting we can get it right here
yes,
in our backyard.
Absolutely.
Park City Fine Art. You can find these paintings. How many do you have here in Park City?
I'd say I probably have about a dozen right now, about 10 to 12, I'd say.
And you're so young, but how has your painting changed over time from when you started at 19 to where you are today?
Well, I'd say the subject matter's got a little bit more complex. It may not be seen in these two pieces, but as you evolve, I'm trying to tackle more complicated pieces that tell a little bit more of a story. My use of brushwork and paint application just hopefully is becoming a little bit more sophisticated. you never want to really reach a plateau as an artist. You just hope you're constantly getting better. And so I find little areas in each piece where hopefully I can do better than I could a year ago.
Are all of your paintings a certain time during Western history?
I like to think of them as before, probably pre-1900s, where things still had that feeling of being undiscovered and being very wild. Some of these, this is not really time binding. This could be early 1800s to mid 1900s, depending on whether the teepees, for example, were buffalo hide or whether they were canvas. So there's some things that indicate the time period, but a lot of the pieces are not a specific era, but really more about the feeling of the era.
And where do you see yourself in 10 years as an artist? What are some of your goals?
Well, hopefully, my wife and I, we run a gallery in Whitefish. My wife runs a gallery. We have a 2-year-old son. So hopefully, I hope to keep painting and keep growing our family.
A 2-year-old? How do you paint around a 2-year-old?
It's been tough. Yeah.
But he probably is very inspiring in his own unique ways.
He's very inspiring, yes. I just have to keep him out of the studio because he wants to put his hands on everything.
Well, he wants to be like his dad. He wants
Yeah,
to be a painter.
which that would be great.
It would be. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Colt, for being here today. Where can we get more information about you and your art?
I'd say from the gallery here locally, Park City Fine Art, and on my website, coltidolart.com.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be here, to join us here. It's always fun to hear about the story behind the artist and behind these incredible paintings.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, check out Colt Idol. He is online. He's also at Park City Fine Art. So you want to see these incredible paintings. We'll be back with much more on Mountain Connections right after this.